Today, for our presentation, we are going to be talking about proper business etiquette in the workplace. There are many different aspects that fall under appropriate business etiquette. Our presentation is going to go into detail on some key components. One aspect of business etiquette is verbal and nonverbal communication in the workplace. Verbal communication consists of what we say and the tone in which we speak. When using verbal communication in the workplace, you need to be clear and concise in your delivery. Whether you are communicating with a colleague or giving a presentation, using clear and concise language is important. Also, when communicating, you should be mindful of your tone. Be careful not to use sarcasm or negative language. If you are using condescending communication, it can make it difficult to build a positive and professional work environment and hurt your reputation in the workplace. This can lead to unprofessional relationships with your colleagues, so it is important to remember to use proper verbal communication. We should also be aware of our nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication consists of our actions, behaviors, gestures, and facial expressions. We need to be sure that our nonverbal communication is being just as considerate and respectful as the words that are coming out of our mouths. Some proper nonverbal communication include things like maintaining good posture, avoiding crossing your arms during conversation, and using welcoming gestures. Another way to convey proper nonverbal communication is using good eye contact. This shows the speaker you are listening and you are engaged in what they are speaking about. Like today, during our presentation, we must use proper verbal and nonverbal communication. We must use nonverbal communication like good eye contact, nodding your head, sitting up straight, and having positive body language to show that we are engaged in what we are speaking about. We also have to use proper verbal communication by being clear and concise about our topic of business etiquette. We use nonverbal and verbal communication daily in negative and positive ways, but we must be sure that in the workplace we are using positive nonverbal and verbal communication. Using positive nonverbal and verbal communication is vital in the workplace and to proper business etiquette. This leads to a positive work environment for all and builds strong professional relationships. Another component of business etiquette includes our appearance. Emma will continue our presentation on proper appearance in the workplace.
Okay, thank you, Emma. Personal appearance includes not only our physical appearance, as I'm going to talk about, but our verbal and nonverbal communication, as Emma already mentioned. Personal appearance refers to the way that you dress, as well as your hairstyle, and just however you look. Because whether you like it or not, people are constantly looking at you and perceiving you and judging you, whether it's good judgment or bad judgment. It is very important to have an appropriate physical appearance, because whether you are working in an office or at a school, whatever job you have, you are a professional and you are constantly representing the company or organization that you work for. When you are going to an interview or a business meeting or work, it is very important that your clothes are neat and tidy. They need to be clean and dry. They should not be wrinkled. They should not be too big or too small. They also need to be modest and not too revealing. There are several different dress codes that are common in the workplace, such as business casual, casual, and uniforms. Uniforms would be where everyone wears the same exact outfit or similar clothes. So you might have to wear the same pants and same shirt as everybody else, or you might just have to wear black pants and a white shirt, for example. Business casual is the most common dress code, and this would be appropriate if you're going to a job interview. You could dress in this dress code, and that would be appropriate and wise. This dress code includes polo shirts, sport jackets, dresses and skirts and blouses for the girls. The casual dress code is not really appropriate for work. You should not follow this dress code if you're meeting a client or going to a business meeting. This is mostly just for when you're not working. This dress code would include jeans, casual tops like t-shirts, shorts, and athletic shoes and sandals. Business professional is not super common. It's more traditional and conservative, but that would include suits and ties. Business formal would mostly be for special events such as um, benefits and like formal dinners and things like that. And that would be suit and tie, of course. Hairstyles, um, it would not be smart to have extreme hairstyles such as a mohawk or brightly colored hair. But in some states, there is something called the Crown Act, which is not in Texas, but it prevents employers from discriminating against textured hairstyles and protective hairstyles such as braids and locks, but they can still tell you not to get a crazy hairstyle like a mohawk or something like that. Another thing to consider would be tattoos and piercings. Employers may not want you to have tattoos visible on the job, and they are absolutely allowed to deny you employment or ask you to cover them up. So it is very important to consider all of these things when going to job interviews, as well as your attitude and the way you carry yourself, which Jocelyn will now continue our discussion.
Thank you, Emma. Everyday conversations and connections are made in and out of the office and are more effective when used with proper business etiquette. Business etiquette refers to the expectations in business behavior and a code of ethical behavior among professionals. Essentially, it comes down to demonstrating good manners. This is not meant to be just rules and telling people what they can and cannot do. It is ensuring that people are treated with respect, both the ones you work with, your colleagues, and your customers and clients. A few aspects of business etiquette that I would like to discuss are easy to remember as the 3 R's: recognition, respect, and response. First, recognition. Recognition is basically the identification of someone or something. You are acknowledging someone's existence. Recognition in the business world develops engaged and loyal employees and customers. This applies to when someone walks into the room at a meeting or business dinner. You should greet them and say hello. It is common to stand and shake hands or offer an acknowledgement of some kind. The same applies of working from home and on a Zoom meeting. Say hello and greet those who are on the call with you. Employers can also offer recognition to their employees in many ways, such as job evaluations, and show their appreciation for their employees' contributions. Studies have shown that recognition by employers help retain top employees, increase employee engagement, and encourages high performance and job satisfaction. Second, respect. Respect involves regard for the feelings or rights of others. It is not just a song sung by the great Aretha Franklin. One can show respect in the business world, not just by what you refrain from doing, but also by intentional acts, such as being on time for a meeting or dressing appropriately for the office, as Emma just mentioned. Once in the meeting, continue to show respect by being mindful of others, silencing your phone, and giving each speaker your undivided attention. Whether in person or on the phone, always be kind and courteous and avoid interrupting. Listen to others and respect differences, whether a different opinion or the way someone presents a solution. Third, response. This is a main topic that has been covered this semester. Your response is a reaction to something and is normally a written or a verbal answer. Follow proper etiquette every time, whether by email or postal mail. How you respond is a sign of professionalism and helps maintain high standards in business communication. Poor responses make customers or colleagues feel underappreciated and undervalued, and this can lead to lost customers. As we have learned throughout this course, pay attention to your customer and maintain goodwill. As Emma stated, be clear and concise in your replies and verify you have the correct email address or mailing address. Proofread any response for grammatical and spelling errors every time. In business, it is courteous to respond by the end of the day to emails. No longer than 24 hours should go by without a response. Ensuring you respond in the right way to each customer and colleague is a key component of communication for any business and will maintain a good relationship. The 3 Rs: recognition, respect, and response, are important aspects of business etiquette that contribute to a better relationship among employees, employers, and customers. Utilizing each R in a positive way every day allows one to connect effectively in the business world. I will now turn it over to Jamaica, who will discuss the aspect of technology communication.
Thank you, Ms. Jocelyn. Here's the overview of technology communication. Technology communication is a fascinating intersection where our digital world meets human interactions. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. Communication technology refers to technologies that provide access to information through telecommunication. Some examples of communication technology are phone, email, blogs, social media, vlogs. In a business atmosphere, you should always use telephone etiquette by being respectful to the person you are talking to, showing consideration for the other person's limitations, allowing that person to speak, and communicating clearly, and much, much more. When using emails, people have been using emails since the early 1970s and remains a widely popular method of communication. Most companies provide their employees with business email addresses, allowing them to communicate with colleagues and clients. For an example, teachers may use their school email addresses to contact their students and parents with progress updates. Businesses can require email lists to help grow the brand and increase sales. Email etiquette would be to avoid using your work email for personal issues. When blogging in a business atmosphere, you should also look at blogs using the use of publicity to attract new clients. For example, an online company that markets books may start a blog highlighting and marketing their expertise. When writers read the post, they may trust the company and use its services to market their book. Some careers may require an understanding of blogs, such as professional bloggers, writers, editors, manufacturers, coaches, and digital marketers. When using conferencing technology, such as like Zoom and Google, I think it's Google Video, conferencing allows multiple people to communicate in real time from different locations. Often, conferencing technology include audio and video features, making interactions using this technology feel more personal than communicating via phone call. You might use conferencing technology to communicate with friends and family as well. Companies can also use conferencing technology to conduct business with clients working in distant locations. For an example, our group, we use Zoom communications because we have a classmate who lives in a different time zone some of the time. Technology is an essential part of our lives, impacting the way we work, entertain ourselves, and stay connected with each other. Thank you, and we will have Daniel to conclude this discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Jamaica. Good evening, I'm Cesar Flores, and my segment of our business etiquette project is about project management. Now, specifically, I'm going to cover 3 topics about project management. Individual project management, leading a small unit or a team in project management or in pursuing other projects, and large-scale operational projects as well, how to manage those as well. So to start off with, what is project management? Project management is when you have a task or an operation or a goal that you have either for yourself, a small team, or a large-scale corporation, you have to have some things in mind, such as goal setting, what is your end state, some key billet assignment and roles, and making sure that there's no such thing as a single point of failure. So diving in further right into personal time management or personal project management is what kind of personal time, work-life balance will you have for yourself and your project? You want to make sure that you're not going to get yourself burnt out, as well as you're not pouring yourself all into your work and then foregoing other necessity needs, such as making sure you're taking care of yourself and taking care of those that are dependent on you, even if it's just living on your own. With professional time management, with project management, is making sure that you are utilizing all of your time wisely and efficiently. If you're at work for 8 hours a day, but you have only 1 hour's work of work completed, you haven't exactly utilized the maximum potential of your time. How you can stay on task is for every hour of work, you can take a 10-minute break to stand up, walk around, or do some sort of activity that gets your mind away from the current task at hand. And then when you come back to it, set yourself a timer or commit yourself 10 minutes, even if you don't feel like doing it. After 10 minutes, your brain then develops a neural pathway, develop a habit of doing what it is that you need to do. And then your body will adjust as is committing to a task or a project. Also with personal project management or individual project management, a project that you're leading by yourself on your own, you have to also understand and correctly gauge your ability and your reputation. What is at stake is your word, your work ethic, and the type of repertoire you're gonna have and command presence in the workplace, in and outside of the workplace. Because if you're not confident in the workplace, how are you gonna be able to be confident in the other personal areas of your life? And that's how project management can really extend even at the individual level. Moving on further, project management by leading with a small team or small unit. So what that means with a small unit or small team is someone that is relatively within a small group, such as, for example, this class. It's a class of 6 of us. Leading a small group like this to engage in a project or a goal, you have to be able to set a standard of excellence, a standard of what type of work you're expecting. Because if everybody's going to be putting in different types of levels of work and effort, you're going to have different results and you might not achieve the desired group result or the desired individual leader result for the project or the goal that you're setting for yourself or your company or corporation. So when it comes to billet assignments, there's making sure that there's no single point of failure. If someone's a key billet holder or a leader in a certain task, have someone else to be an assistant as that. Making sure that you're not be able to double tap or put too much on someone as well. It's also a key thing with project management in a small team. You also have to make sure that you're also respecting of each other's opinions and voices. You may not have all the ideas, and you may have to want to bounce out on other ideas. There's no such thing as a terrible or a bad idea. It just hasn't been thought out well, and it hasn't been logistically proven to see if it can be feasible or efficient. Another thing with working in a small team with project management and managing projects and completing those goals is making sure that those that are not performing are held accountable. And what does that look like? There could probably be a couple of elevations of either making sure that your teammates in that project are being counseled, either verbally, on a sidebar conversation to understand like, hey, maybe they're not putting their effort, maybe the other team members are receiving a different type of effort than what the group member that is at fault or seen with a deficiency. Because remember, we have to understand that our intended message may not be received as intended from the sender. So having that two-way communication for a project with a small team is extremely important for the success of the team and for success of the desired result. Moving further with a large-scale operational project and how to manage that is understanding the different billets that are outside of your scope. So you may not be able to handle everything and understand everything that is within your control. However, you may have team members that are below you in a hierarchy that can definitely be utilized. So the best thing about that is you may not have all the answers, but if you can employ your team and your corporation or business in a way that is the most efficient, you'll be able to understand that the entire desired results will be achieved more efficiently. You have better work-life performance among your employees and employers as well. You'll also be able to establish further new precedences that can be followed for similar projects or for new projects. Overall, with all these type of different project managements of either at the individual level, small unit leader level, or a large scale operational level, within project management, you have to make sure that you're updating those that are in a need to know basis. For example, I personally follow 3 wickets. What do I know? Have I told them? And are they understanding the message that where they need to be or what they need to do? So following those three at least principles, I'll be able to ensure that, and you'll be able to ensure that your team is following what is their goal that they need to be able to accomplish within the project. And overall, when you manage that efficiently and not also as well objectively, you'll be able to achieve the desired result. In summary, we have covered several topics for business etiquette, such as appearance, nonverbal, and verbal attitude, communication technology, and project management. If there are no further questions at this time, this will conclude our period of instruction.